welcome to another episode of Patents Simplified. In this episode, I'll offer a few perspectives on why you should file for patent protection on your inventions despite the money and time commitment required. Of course, this is something that large companies understand very well. They have internal IP departments, they have patent strategists, and they're pretty diligent in protecting their intellectual property. But I think that same understanding is not shared by a lot of small companies with limited resources or individual inventors, entrepreneurs, startups. So I'm here to give you the following perspective. The patents are a new asset class. It is becoming more liquid. There are more patents on the market being bought and sold. There's better price discovery. There are even attempts to create patent exchanges. So as an asset class, in my judgment, patents are no different than stocks or bonds or real estate or art, anything that you buy and sell. As a matter of fact, as a business asset, they're no different than any of your other business assets. So I'd say, based on that, it would be ignorant and it would be irresponsible for any technology company or any innovative company not to understand patents well enough and not to make decisions on whether to file for patents in an informed way. If you've attended my workshops, you've probably heard me say the following. If you're not a very successful company, the good news is nobody's going to sue you for patent infringement. But if you are a successful company, people will line up to sue you for patent infringement. It is a fact. There is actually a pretty public example of this recently, and the example is obviously Twitter. If you're following the news, if you're following Twitter, you would know that Twitter has taken a blasé stance as far as patents. They did not file for patent protection on a lot of their core technology, and whenever they did file for patents, they asserted publicly that they will not use them in any offensive capacity or in any way to leverage in business. And what happened was, as soon as Twitter had shown some success, a lot of Twitter clones appeared in other countries. And some of them are operating and taking business away from Twitter. But the situation is actually a little bit worse than that. As soon as Twitter announced that they were going to go public, a lot of people came out of the woodwork and started suing Twitter for patent infringement. And it will continue to be so. If you're a successful company, it is a fact of life. You will have to deal with that. So Twitter recently bought about 900 patents from IBM. Nobody knows how much they paid. It's probably in the hundreds of millions of dollars. But the fact is, they have to acquire those patents, and they have to acquire probably more. They have to buy more patents from other companies and spend a lot of money doing that. That's because they completely lacked, up to this point, the war chest that is required for technology companies to compete in that space. It is essentially a very expensive lesson for Twitter to learn, but it doesn't have to be expensive for you. Well, at the least, because you're watching this clip, but also there's a lot more information available. I've mentioned to you that in other episodes that there's the Patents Simplified book. You could also go to Amazon and check out other books on patents and patent strategy. You can check out the knowledge base that's on Patentory.com. Go to the US Patent Office site. Even if you don't want to spend the money, just look at the information that is available freely on the internet and become more knowledgeable. So if you look at an invention that is generated in your company and decide not to file for patents on that invention, let that be a knowledge and understanding based decision, a business decision that you can justify on the fact that you understand the implications of it well enough. Don't make it a de facto position where you essentially do not file for patents because of lack of knowledge or ignorance. In all the years that I've taught workshops and spoken with hundreds of inventors, I've never heard anyone say, I wish I had not filed that patent on that invention. But I've heard the opposite so many times, as you can imagine. What I would say is, believe me when I say that patents are a business asset no different than anything else. So you should not give away your inventions any more than you give away your blueprints or design specifications on what you manufacture and sell. So you should make the effort. If you need to borrow the money, if you need to go to patent prosecution firms that do patent filings on contingency, if you need to raise more money, whatever you need to do, I'd say that it should be a priority to have the resources and put aside the resources to file for intellectual property protection. One of the resources available to you, again, is Patentory.com, where you can file provisional patent applications very inexpensively. We're not the only resource. You can obviously search on the internet and find other resources that you may like. But I urge you to make that decision to protect your core business ideas so that when you're competing and when you are successful, you have the intellectual property position to defend that position, defend that business advantage. So with that, thank you for watching, and hope to see you in other episodes.